Virola.
Yeah.
We're going to butcher the actor that plays Superman's last name. In fact, we're here to talk about the Superman trailer. Let's chat.
Everybody come on, let's get down. Get down.
What up, Aaron?
What's up, dude?
What's going on, dude?
Yeehaw, what's good?
Yeehaw. Yeehaw, let's just dive right into it.
Yeah.
So, ladies and gentlemen, we have an announcement to make at the top of the show. And this has been a fun ride here at Friends from Work Let's Chat. The people I launched this page with are awesome. Everybody's lives is just too busy. So I'm going to actually dissolve this brand. We're going to keep our feed. And Aaron and I, finally, after how many years we've talked about this, we are going to rebrand and be co-hosting a new show similar to this, but a lot more of his flair and style with it. And what are we going to name this thing again?
Yes, the Yeehaw and Yankee Show.
The Yeehaw and Yankee Show with Ricky
Aaron and Ricky Joe.
With Ricky Joe and Aaron. You know, it's kind of funny.
You can't make that shit up.
Ricky Joe is my actual name now. Just so we
know.
Were
you like mixing just now?
Little bit. Ricky Joe from Mesquite, Texas. Born and raised Mesquite, Texas, y'all. Dallas suburb. Yep. Big time kind of a redneck haven back in the day. But anyway, and then
do you have many listeners from that area?
And then we've got Mr. New York here, Long Island.
That's right. New York through and through.
Did you ever live in Manhattan? I don't even ask.
Nah, see, as a real New Yorker, we don't fuck with that shit, man. We don't do that. We don't do the let's go to the Upper West. No. You visit and then you leave. You know what I'm saying? You go to another borough where the rent is cheaper, like Brooklyn or Queens or the Bronx.
But would George Carlin have agreed with you on that? Would Robert De Niro agree with you on that?
I don't know if those people. So like Robert De Niro is from the Bronx, so like you can only go up from the Bronx, and no one really moves back to the Bronx. You know what I mean?
Yeah, that's fair. Where's Rock from? Isn't Chris Rock? Is he Brooklyn?
I think he's Brooklyn.
Yeah, I think he's Brooklyn. Yeah. And when you've been to New York and immersed yourself in that great city, like I have, you realize that Brooklyn is not New York. It's not Manhattan.
No,
it's not. Especially maybe right over the bridge at Peter Luger's Steakhouse in that little area. That's a little Manhattan light. But get into Brooklyn. It's Brooklyn. Long Island. That's what I love.
Everything is very distinct. Yeah, Queens is a melting pot of like every other. It's the largest borough. It's the most diverse borough in the entire city. So
I love it. Still,
we'll be bringing a little bit of that to the show for you guys.
I plan on I turned 50. My plan is right now is that we're gonna go. Sorry, stuff's blowing up on my phone. I'm gonna turn it off. I want to get up there next year. This is in December 2024. Because my stepdaughter's in Boston in school. I want to get up there and maybe we go into Boston with my girls. We all meet there, and then we train it over to Manhattan for a couple days.
I love Boston.
Yeah, dude, Boston's a
great city.
Great city. There ain't no doubt about it. I'm here today in a Houston, Texas suburb. Where you at?
Long Island.
You're in Long Island. See, that's what I'm saying. Ricky Joe and Aaron. All right, so we got a little quick show here. So just so everybody knows, too, on Monday, I'm recording with the great Bob Seska and Freak Bass, the gentleman who supplies the music and got his permission to use it for the rebranding. Thank you, sir. And Professor Zaki Hassan. And we're going to dive a little bit more into the Superman trailer, but we're going to talk a lot about some of our favorite live action moments in Superman live action. Right now, my partner in crime here and I are going to just kind of talk about our feelings on this trailer, maybe a little Star Wars. All right, dude. So we're on our text thread with Eric Holzman and Sheriff Ryan Haas yesterday. I kept all my comments private in that thread because I also knew that things could change. So James Gunn drops the Super yesterday. And I'm not going to queue it up, although I want to maybe share a couple things in a minute we can look at. I don't want to burn 2 or 3 minutes of the show. You guys have seen it. I'm not going to lie. I didn't like it at first. I was watching it on my phone, and I was a little disappointed in some stuff. So I'm going to get this out of the way. All right. Because this has a happy ending. All right. So I'm not trying to be negative, Nelly. I'm just being honest. I thought it looked not cheap. That's because that's dumb, but it looked what's the word? Not amateurish. That's also dumb. It didn't look cinematic to me. Some of the extras I thought, man, that just doesn't look good. And wasn't sure how I felt about the dog. I get it. I know who Crypto is. I know the comics. I'm just saying, in a live action film, is that going to work or not?
Right.
Whatever. And then I'm not sure how I felt about the John Williams theme being used, although I get it. But now, because Snyder implemented a little bit in. Well, that was the Whedon version, right?
Yeah, that was the Whedon, and then they also put in a little bit of the Batman '89.
Well, that was on the nose. That was for sure. That was definitely Elfman's Batman theme in that. Anyway, but it was 100% in Superman Returns. There's no doubt about that.
Sure.
Brandon Routh, 2006. Which I auditioned for. It's a funny story. Kidding. You guys have heard it a million times. So wasn't sure how I felt about really any of it. I also wasn't sure how I felt about I know the characters that are in the film. I was surprised that they consumed so much of the trailer. I thought, does this feel like a Superman movie? And I kind of didn't like it. And I was expressing those concerns and thoughts with you guys. I'm going to move my phone over there with you guys on that text thread. So that was my initial feeling. What was your initial feeling? And then I'm going to shift gears and talk about how I feel about it now.
Yeah. I also watched it on my phone. I think that actually has a lot to do with our ability to pull that cinematic vibe across. Like watching it on my phone, I wasn't also in the right headspace when I watched it. But I'm not a big fan of Crypto in general. Like I remember way back when they talked about potentially doing a Crypto movie, and I was like, are you kidding me? Like,
well, come on, man.
I'm not dude.
For kids.
No.
Dude, come on.
I'm not with it. And like
you're getting too,
live. Like,
you're getting too cynical, bro.
Go ahead. First of all, did I interrupt you? Shut up.
Damn.
Talk about partnership, man. Try to run the show. No, I'm kidding. So look, I'm of two minds. Like, I want this movie to succeed. It has to succeed for there to be a proper DCU, right? And so I was hopeful. I can't say that what I saw blew me like out of my chair. It was fine, and these are my first. This is my first sort of impression of what I saw. I agree with you about the characters, although upon second, third, fourth watch of the trailer, I do think that changed a little bit with there being too many people. But it's a trailer, fine. It's a teaser. It sets the tone. I do think that and I kind of picked up on it when I first watched it. Like, there's a lot of symbolism that's being thrown out in that trailer. So we can talk a little bit about that, but it's a trailer. It does what it's supposed to do. It teases you. It doesn't give away too much. I was very impressed by Nicholas Holt's Lex Luthor. He looks menacing. And look, I like David Cornsweet as Superman. There, I got it out. Cornsweet. That sounds so weird. Cornsweet? Is that really your name, bro? Yeah, I think he looks like the part, like the role. And then I just had a problem with like some little minor things. Like, I didn't like the fact that he got hit by a beer can and flinched when it happened. So it's like minor things. But yeah,
am I allowed to talk now?
You can talk now. No,
okay, so you say that it's period, then I speak period. No overlapping, no rock and roll radio. No,
we can do that now. We can do it.
No, I'm kidding, man. Okay, so how do you feel now? Do you feel is this real time assessment or
no? So like I like it. I think again, for what it's supposed to be, it does the job. It gets people excited about Superman. I think it is full of hope, which I think a lot of the Snyder stuff was devoid of. I think that, again, when I was talking about the symbolism, and I wrote this on Blue Sky, It's like it's an interesting way that this trailer starts with Superman literally beaten up and in the snow, which I feel like that's where his character is currently, like beaten up. And because everyone has said, oh, it's so hard to nail Superman, it's so hard to bring him across cinematically since Christopher Reeves did such a great job at it. And I kind of feel like the way it starts is kind of like where everyone's mindset is about Superman. Like he's a Boy Scout, da da da, and like they're kind of showing this guy just got his ass kicked.
Mm-hmm.
Snow, but then by the end of the trailer, the last scene is him flying up into the sky, like. So there's that whole the fall and the rise of the hero, and I love that sort of parallel in what they're doing there, and I really think that that's ultimately what James Gunn is hoping to do with this movie, and ultimately the launch of the DCU. So like I'm good with it. The characters, like I said before, initially I was like, there's too many people that they're throwing in your face. But then when I watched it a couple of times, like there's some really good stuff in there, with him saving the little girl, with with him even though I don't like Crypto, I like the idea of Crypto dragging his ass home. I thought that was cool. And again, like I just think like Nicholas Hoult, dude, that scene right there, that is
look at that.
I watched that scene a couple of times, man, just kind of like
look at that.
Reversing it, and I love that the way it looks, and I love the vulnerability in him in that, like he's physically getting assaulted by these canisters as he saves this little girl.
That's a great
shot. Yeah,
that's a great shot.
There's a lot of good stuff, man. There's even that one scene where he's getting blasted by, I guess, a drag. I don't know what the hell kind of creature that thing is. Like another one of James Gunn kaiju ideas. Cool. But he's getting blasted by fire, and he rolls in, like you kind of see his chest like roll through the fire, and then he shoots up. Like that's a dope scene, man.
It is, and I will tell you, I borderline love that trailer now, and I do. Now I don't regret having the opinion at the time I did. Well, I do, and I was watching from a phone. There was still some stuff in there. I'm not going to lie that a lot of the Daily Planet stuff, by the way, it looks like Superman Returns.
It does.
And I don't hate Superman Returns. I just mean the way the characters look and the way they're standing, and
I absolutely despise Superman Returns.
The tone of Daily Planet looks like Brandon Routh is going to walk right the F in, dude.
I agree with you.
Right, so that's kind of weird.
That kind of looks like the same set.
It does. It looks like literally,
and the way it's framed, because they do it like from up here.
The aerial shot,
like into it. I don't like it. I agree with you.
I don't hate that movie. It's forgettable, but I don't hate it. But let's talk about some stuff for a second. That opening scene, like you said, I thought that was a bold move, and I think. I don't want to overanalyze a trailer, and I know that we get into this world, but I'm going to do it right now. I feel like that maybe that opening sequence was like you hear the score, you feel it, and he drops and he's got blood, and you're like, okay, so this is James Gunn telling us a couple of things right out of the gate. He's telling us that this Superman has hope, but it also has a dark component to it, right? This isn't
somebody whooped his ass.
He didn't just get scratched by a cat saving from a tree, right? This is some serious stuff here. So that's really neat, and I like some of the imagery that I think looks like he's being rejected. And to be fair, some of that's a little reminiscent to me of B versus S, which is some of the cool stuff about Superman in that film that I actually liked. And that's okay. There's nothing wrong with that. He needs to feel that a little bit for him to be interesting. On a side note, when you talk about someone throwing something at him, I feel like what's hard about Superman to write, although I've never written him, I'm just saying he's so powerful. Like, how do you have to have some kind of human reaction to certain things? I think it's more. It doesn't actually hurt him.
It's more. It's the intention behind it.
Well, think about Andrew Garfield in No Way Home, or Far From No. Which was the last Spider-Man with all of them?
No Way Home.
No Way Home. Yeah, thanks. Remember when he first shows up, and what's her name?
Mary Jane.
Mary Jane, thank you. MJ. She throws the bread at him, and he's like, "Stop! Please don't do that." Right? It's the same kind of thing. It's
I get it. For me, the way I interpreted it was like after kind of seeing it's the intention that he wants to instill hope, and yet there are people who are fighting against his symbol in
Yeah.
that, and so to be attacked by the people that you're trying to protect and get thrown by something like that still hurts, regardless of it actually intentionally like doing an impact on his. I know what you're saying.
Yeah, you nailed it. Speaking of that, dude, that little boy holding that flag up,
Dude, that scene apparently,
bro,
that's awesome. And then he's holding and just like whispering,
okay,
Superman,
dude, that touched me. You right? Like that's when I started to love the trailer. I already knew the actor was great. I've watched some of his work, and the cast appears to be pretty stellar. But I really, really, really like that imagery of that little boy.
Yeah.
And I will say this: I was taken back by his his Clark. The perm hair is an interesting choice. However,
it's only the way kids are rocking hair these days.
However, watching it again, and the scene where he kind of looks up at the TV and he's all like kind of startled and everything. To me, it was one of the first times. Is my mic okay? Why is it flashing like that? Okay, that I believed that Clark
the differences between Superman and Clark
was somebody else. And here's the deal: I'm not saying maybe Cavill could have pulled it off, but maybe it's directorial. I don't know. But that Clark Kent was Superman. The scene where he's talking to Bruce Wayne at the party and
Bruce,
it's just Superman.
Yeah.
Brandon Routh's Clark was, hey, do a quasi impression of Christopher Reeve. I don't know, Brian Singer. It was a weird choice. And obviously Chris Reeve was incredible at that.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
I think this is the first time we're going to get that truly in live action where you can believe that he's somebody else just based on that clip.
I'm Superman, and then like, hey, where did he go? You know, kind of thing. Like that doesn't work. But like the way that his hair is styled, and he kind of is like a disheveled reporter versus this stoic symbol of like masculinity and shit. There's a huge difference in the way that those two people show up. Which is very reminiscent of the way Chris Reeves used to do it, which is his hair was combed in a different direction. He physically, pulled his shoulders in and like hunched his back to kind of diminish his height. We see it, so like well demonstrated, and I think it's the first Superman.
Dude, that scene where
he shows up and he's like, Lois, and he takes his glasses off and then stands up. And then she's like, yeah, and then he just goes back to being Clark. He's like, well, I thought we should,
exactly. That was right after he took her for the freaking dude. That's what I'm saying. Like that scene, and he stands up and he's Superman, and he puts
and they play that music.
Anyway, Lois, I was just thinking that maybe we could get takeout or whatever.
Yeah.
Absolutely, and he didn't have to change his hairstyle, but that was also 1977.
His voice changed. It was
voice changes everything.
Manifested Superman in full form, and then took it back off and put Clark on. Like that is brilliant acting. I hope that Senior Corn Sweat can deliver the same. Because look, this movie, regardless of what it means for the new DCU, is going to have an uphill battle because it is challenging nostalgia. That's why every Superman that's come after Chris Reeves is it's hard because there is a quintessential Superman,
there is, but we're getting so further removed from him, God bless him. That just also means you and I are getting older, by the way, so we're on that same train, bro, right?
I agree with you.
So that's but if I may, don't interrupt. Just kidding. Like my nephew's kids, right? I was watching my sister and my nephew's wife, what is that, niece-in-law, I guess. They were on Facebook talking about how much they love the trailer and they excited to take their kids. No parent was excited to take their kids to Man of Steel when they saw that.
No.
Or especially B versus S. No. And so we have now a Superman, it appears, that they can do that. And so it has an opportunity to let this be their Superman.
Yeah.
Where Superman Returns didn't try to make it their Superman. They try to make it a continuation of the other one.
Right.
And then Snyder did whatever Snyder did, right? And and then now here we are. So I don't know. I
agree with that. I showed it to my son. My son's 5 years old. He immediately, like, he's like, He's funny. He's like his dad. He's like, oh, this is Superman, right? Because obviously, he sees him laying in the snow, but then all of a sudden, like, my son locks in, and he's like, Daddy, are we gonna go see that movie? I'm like, yeah, I'll take you to go see it.
And bro, the crypto worked. He whistles for him and he runs.
It's cool scene. It's cool scene.
And he says, home. Oh, which by the way, I could not.
Take me home.
I couldn't get ET out of my head. I couldn't, dude. I couldn't.
Talk about dating yourself.
I know.
Yeah.
Even, but dude, he's wearing a cape. Calm the fuck on.
That's why I hate
wearing a cape.
He's like a little furry dog.
He grabs his cape and he runs off with him and saves his ass. Look, you gotta applaud James Gunn, man. Like, that takes kind of balls to bring the damn dog.
It does, but I mean, like, he's done it with a raccoon. You know what I mean?
Well, he's got some street cred.
Done it with Weasel. Yeah, he does. But here's the problem. Speaking of street cred, this is the problem I have with the movie. Okay. What's my concern? We talked a little bit about this on text. James Gunn is great at the dynamics between an ensemble cast of people, right? Like, and them playing off of each other, that like family dynamic. Like, I think he'd have been an excellent director for the Fantastic Four, right? Like, he's so good at that. If you look at, Guardians of the Galaxy, you look at Peacemaker, he's so good at stitching that together.
Mm-hmm.
That, like, what makes Peacemaker so good is, like,
I loved his Suicide Squad too. Sorry, go ahead.
Yeah, but that's the thing. I think it's like Superman. I don't want Superman to feel like he's playing a second fiddle in his own film. And that's my concern, because he's already thrown in this universe of characters, and he, from what I understand, Superman, and I know, Eric Holtzman shared some bits about how James Gunn's going to balance all this, but like, he's already living in this world and has these relationships with other superheroes and other people, and that's cool, but like, Superman needs to be the standout. You know what I mean? Like, Superman needs to, like, he needs to be supported by those people. I just don't want to see like too much between all of those. Does that make sense? Like, I feel like I just don't want him to play second fiddle in his own film.
100%. And that's my last concern about the whole thing is let's just make sure this is a Superman movie. But I can tell you this, I'm watching it on the big screen, my TV several times now. And I'm like, it feels good to feel it. And the modification of John Williams' original score works. Well, here's the deal. I don't think it's going to be as prominent in the film. I really don't.
I think they released it as a trailer song.
Yeah. And I mean, there will likely be elements in there, but it is so definitive, though. I get it. Like, it's just part of the character.
You can't. There's no way of stripping that out of or away from Superman.
Right. It's not no Batman. It's not that, because that's a song for its time, and it's goofy, and
it's like not giving him a red cape would be really weird. It's like not hearing that Superman score. It's really weird.
Hey, hold on just a second. You know what I want to do before we shift gears here? Let's man. Let's just watch it real quick. If I can do this. If I don't do this, I'm gonna just abort mission, and let's see if our opinion changes at all. I'm doing this from our Facebook page. Can we hear that?
Yeah, that's coming through. Dude, that breathing.
Look at that.
That breathing, man. Dude, you got your ass beat, bro. I love that.
You can hear it?
Yeah.
Okay. I can't hear anything.
Yeah, I hear it.
That's weird. Why can't I hear it? Well, I'll just talk about the visual. Is audio coming through?
Yeah, the music is coming through now. You get that guitar riff.
Oh, you can hear it? Okay, that's so weird. I can't see. Look at him. Did you see that, dude? That was Clark Kent. Okay, look at this. Oh man, an interesting choice to have Paul Kent. This guy, what's his name? The first time I saw him was in that movie. Tim Robbins, when he was like all psycho and whatever, and then later in Beautiful Girls. Come on, bro, look at this. I can't hear shit, by the way. You can hear this?
I can hear everything.
He whistles. You heard all that?
Yeah, the whistle.
Look at that. Come on, bro. Look at this. He licks him. Takes this. I've done a 180 right? Yeah, that's right. It's 360. Oh, here we go. Look at this. Look at that, bro. Look, see here, he's just. It hurts him. Okay. Beautiful. That's a great shot. That's from that initial still. Look at that. Come on. Look at Crypto. Stop. Just stop.
This part. Boom. I love that shit right there.
It's a classic Superman.
That to me is awesome.
Look at this. I hope that
so here's the other thing too. You know, like this font is the OG Superman font from the first movie.
It is. Okay.
That's pretty cool.
Oh, dude, I love it.
I don't like the guitar riff of the dun 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 dun. I don't like that. But once they bring in the full score, I'm on board for it. But like I don't like that shit at all. Cut it out.
Well, look, I tell you what. Let's stop here on this topic because I don't have a lot. We're doing this on our lunch breaks here, and I don't have a lot more time. I know you don't either. I want to talk a little bit of Star Wars, but just in quick closing on this trailer, I did a 180 on it. I think I love it. There's so much really, really good shit in this thing, and I'm excited for it. It does need to work. Like
it does. Oh my god, dude!
This thing, there's a lot riding on this thing. Yeah. It's not one movie or even its potential sequels.
Universe, man.
It's like Iron Man doesn't work.
Yeah.
And at least if Iron Man didn't work, the public wasn't aware that there was this big master game plan.
Right. And there really wasn't, to be fair, but you know.
Well, in the Incredible Hulk
that's when they started to double down, but those movies weren't released too far from one another. And matter of fact, there's a bit of a shift there because it's at the end of that movie, it's Tony Stark recruiting for the Avengers.
Yeah, sure is.
But then he's not accepted in the Avengers.
Yeah, right. All right, so we're excited for it. Let's see what happens. We got a few buttons. Can't wait.
Cautiously optimistic. Let's go.
All right, maybe we'll see it together in New York or Texas.
Cool.
We'll figure that out. All right, man. So real fast here, just the next 5 minutes. Skeleton Crew's been rolling along. I think it's a delightful show. I can't believe how much I like it. I was not expecting to like it as much. I think I'm not comparing the episodes because I'm looking at it as one story.
Yeah.
But I'm enjoying the build and where it's going. I don't look at episode 3 as better than 2 or whatever. It's just part of the story. I don't. You feel like episode 3 took a step backwards a little bit?
You mean episode 4?
The most recent one.
Episode 4, yeah.
Yeah, sorry.
Yeah, there was like when I get taken out of something, that's usually when I'm like, oh, what the fuck is happening?
What'd you get taken out?
And the moment that like I was taken out was like when that girl went sliding across that little bus for no apparent reason. Like she's like, we need to hide. And then she ran and slid across the floor just to get to the other side. I was like, what the fuck was that? And I'm like, okay, who is this for right now again? And because you know what? It's funny. When we first were getting prepared to watch the show, I was like, this shit isn't for me. This is going to be for my kids. Well, funny enough, my kids don't want to watch the show. So it's for me. And I've been watching it and I like it. Right. And that was the first point when I was like, why did we just do that? And it's almost like, I get it. Because the 80s is like packed with stupid shit like this all the time. Like the girl on the bike, you know what I mean? Like, or the kid who's got like, the leather jacket, the little, if you watch the Monster Squad, it's like that kid Rudy who's like, he's part of the cool, and he's got the leather jacket and you meet Rudy, you're like, oh, that's a cool fucking kid. He's like smoking cigarettes and stuff like that. And he's like, hanging out with all of the nerdy kids. It's like that kind of shit that I'm like, I appreciate it. But when you do something like that, I'm like, bro, come on. Did she have to slide? And then when she leaves, she does like some parkour shit. I'm like, okay.
Oh, boy. I don't even know how to respond to this. I'm just letting it run, ride, whatever.
Yeah, but come on. I'll tell you, the mystery of the show, the continued mystery of Adden and whatever the name of that planet was, the SME, SM, 3-3. You know, that is really cool.
Jude
The
Law's
the ambiguity around Jude Law's character and like, is he good?
Great.
Is he bad? Like, are his actions noble? He's just saved the kids. Like all of that stuff. What is all of that about? Is he a Jedi? You know, there's still some stuff to unpack there, and I'm along for the ride. I like it.
What's the owl's name?
I don't even remember the owl's
name.
What
a great character, though.
That was a really, really cool character. She almost had like a Yoda style, like
Lucasfilm is
with the creature.
Give me a break with this. I want to avoid this topic because we are now talking about the two worst fandoms on the planet, which is like DC. Yeah. And a lot of it's the Snyder Bro BS and Star Wars.
Yeah.
And like, enjoy the damn. First of all, just so you guys know, a little PSA here. Zack Snyder didn't create Superman. All right. It's been around a long time.
Yeah.
The more you know. Star Wars is not shitty under Disney. That's a ridiculous statement. There's some stuff that's as good or better than anything Lucas did, with the exception of Empire Strikes Back. Period, hands down. And not just freaking Rogue One and Andor either, mind you. I think Skeleton Crew is, like I've said this before, I think it's a good palate cleanser. I knew I'd probably like it, but I'm loving it in a way I didn't expect to. It's a very good, so far, very good Star Wars story.
Yeah.
So let's talk more about the show are they dropping one on Tuesday? Yeah, Christmas Eve is Tuesday, right?
Yeah.
All right.
And then there's What If. What If is dropping, I think, this weekend. I don't know if you're into the Marvel What If stuff, but
I will.
Yeah, okay. We'll see.
All right, so listen, we've got to do a logo. I got permission from Freakbase, so I can say it here. He's 100% on board.
Thank you, Freakbase.
That's right. Well, you got a cool idea with the whistle and the whip and all that stuff. And we got to start kind of branding this thing and get it officially launched. We'll keep it on the feed. They'll let me change the name once, I believe. So that's cool. And awesome.
Yeah.
I'm so stoked. It's long overdue, man.
And what I would say is just to anyone who's listening and all of that, who've been following, you know, all of the Rick and crew's endeavors, if there's other stuff you guys want to listen to, topics you want us to dive into, please do. I don't know if Rick is a Lord of the Rings fan. He probably isn't, but I certainly am. So if you guys want to hear more about that shit and my thoughts on Rings of Power, let's get into that.
Let's get into that and start booking. Yeah. So like we do our shows, we host together. We can still book our own guests and do our own thing. It's our show. And there's no rules. And that's what I'm so thrilled about. And I love you, man. And I'm really freaking pumped about this. It's long. This chemistry we've had. We discovered this years ago when I was on BOF and you were there, and I would do Fanboy. Yeah. And
but it was even way before that. We started an argument. There was an argument about Force Ghosts. That's how it all started.
And look at that, come all the way to Ahsoka and Hayden Christensen's Force Ghost, bro. Right there.
Oh, and let's keep the Obi-Wan Kenobi to one season.
Thank you, Lucasfilm, for making that about canon. We don't need a season 2 of Obi-Wan. No. I want a continuation of. I just want to see you and McGregor in the role again. But I want, and I like Obi-Wan Kenobi overall, but that should have been a movie. And we see him again. The dude needs to be on the big screen in a film. Thank you very much. All right. I don't really have anything to plug because we're changing all the handles anyway. Yeah. So thanks for watching. Stay tuned for the the Yeehaw and Yankee podcast with Ricky Joe and AA Ron. See you later.